right. In a generation whereby people are looking out for opportunities that are really can get to earn them big, better from their comfortable positions of either settlement or residence, there are a lot of things that are really emerging up, and people are trying to dig so deep and try to understand how the dynamics or the different dynamics of earnings, the different dynamics of getting money, and how you can get more wealthier, be it educated or less. Then that's why we really dig in to come and look at a fact like trading. And as we've always discussed, trading is a very, very wide topic. It's a very, very wide industry whereby people trade in crypto, people trade in features, bonds, and all that. And then some tend to just focus on Forex. And as TBS, the main sponsor to this program or show, they really gave you an opportunity to learn from the best, to have experiences or learn or correct your mistakes, or even correct them before you dive into them, by bringing you experienced traders with vast knowledge. And that's how we got to start today. So today in our episode of the My Trading Journey, we yet bring you a gentleman by the name Martin, and he's really a proven trader. He's seen it, and I'm pretty sure whatever he has seen you haven't, or you're yet to experience. So you're most welcome, Mr. Martin. And I'm really glad that you really accepted to come and share your experience or some information with someone out there who might be in need of it or is looking out to it. And straight away, you can give an introduction of who you are and a little bit of your background before Forex or before trading generally.
Yes, I'm excited to be here as well. This is a very interesting moment where I have to share part of my journey. It has been a roller coaster of events since I joined this this line of, I'm going to call it a line of business, because I was coming from somewhere. I'm into construction, and I trained as a food scientist at the university. So I've been in so many places. So I'm so excited that today I'm going to share my journey and the challenges, and how somebody out there who's trying to flex with Forex charts, who's trying to learn how to trade, I'm going to give them the best approach and what they should expect, and the challenges and everything they are going to face.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you who's out there, you're privileged that at least you're going to have this story from someone who is experienced in different fields. And as we told you, we are always going to be trying much as we can to relate or try to compare the trading field and these other things. So as he already told you that he trains as a food scientist and all that, and then into construction and all that. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to try and relate all these fields so that you can get a greater picture of all that. So now everyone always have a background towards or before doing or starting something. And now for today that you're telling your trading journey, you must be having a background. So before you got to know about Forex trading or trading in general, you know, I tend to get caught up mostly in the Forex thing because most people are so vast, and you know there's so much a way of Forex as compared to cryptos and features and bonds. So who is before the Martin Volatus? So there is the other Martin.
Yeah,
before.
Maweje.
Yes. So first give us a brief background of the Martin Maweje, your background about school and all that, in a simplicity or in a simple way.
I won't go much deep into school, but I trained as a food scientist from Makerere University. And then after that, as soon as I finished school, I started a bakery. So I did a bakery for 2 to 3 years, 2.5 years to be specific. Then I was being chased after by the RFA officials, the signy UNBS guys. So it was very stiff for me to survive. So eventually I had to give up on bakery, but I had brought in enough resources for me to diversify into something else. That's when I got into construction. So the way I entered into construction was by supplying construction materials to to different construction sites around in Ajela, Chila, and I know so many people out there familiar with my face, because I'm a very familiar face in the construction or in the material supply. So after that, the business was also performing well, but at one point, I got inquisitive on what to do next, because the supply of material was becoming a little bit tight because so many people got into it and the market was shrinking on a daily basis. So that's when I got introduced to Forex. But I didn't come into Forex as a Forex trader. I came into as a network. For those of you who remember IML, there was IML around 2017, early 2017, late 2017. I was scrolling on Facebook, so I saw somebody talking about Forex. When I tried to contact them, they invited me to an event that's around Parliamentary Avenue, where you could gather at Cafe Javas. Those of you who know the conference hall of Cafe Javas, there's a gentleman called Martin Selga. Yeah, kudos to that gentleman. Inspired so many people into this field. I'm sure many of you guys there, you've ever interacted with him. He's a man of robotics. He's into automation, but we thank him for
opening up
for
your eyes
opening, yeah.
to that.
So I was invited. Then I attended the event. So it was about robots trading cryptos. You pay monthly fee like that. You bring someone, the other one brings another. So there was a networking market bit of it, of which I never wanted, because during campus I did networking with GNLD plus some other companies. So I never wanted to go the same route. So I quickly ran away, but my interest was into learning how to trade on my own, because the robot was giving us while taking. It was giving, taking. Yet every month you had to subscribe, you had to pay.
You have to pay more.
You had to pay for that robot. Yeah. So I was like, can't I learn this thing? So that's when I dived into YouTube. I know many of you out there are YouTube graduates. I'm also a YouTube graduate. Kudos to everybody who's trying to flex with YouTube. However, you need some little guidance. I'll try to guide you how to go around YouTube, because there's a vast array of knowledge on YouTube. So it's very easy for you to get lost or to get knowledge paralysis on YouTube.
All right, so you who has just landed on this video, this is a gentleman with a vast knowledge and in trading, and I'm pretty sure he's here to unveil what he chose, or what he really opted to trading, basically, because there are a lot of things that can be traded up there. And I've told you, for those that really want to follow up too, because maybe you might have landed on this video in its bit form, and you want to follow up and even listen or even view more about this, you can go onto our YouTube channel. That is Determan Brokerage Services YouTube channel. You'll find a full episode of this real one that we are on. And the man today that we're hosting on this episode is Martin. And for those some of you or many of you might be already familiar with the face, and then even what he provides out there in different capacities. And for those that haven't, or for you who hasn't really gotten to know about him, you are yet to see or hear or listen out the best. Okay, so now you are introduced, or you are invited at the certain conference and all that.
IML.
And then you're ready into robotics, and then you've really told us about robotics and all that. And then now you're like, you want to do more. You want to really find more of yourself. You want to explore. So you go onto YouTube. What was the trigger more? What really triggered you more to really jump into, like wanting to know more or wanting to find more knowledge? And then you end up on YouTube.
Now, what pushed me to YouTube? It's something simple. One day, I went to the event, because the gentleman could charge us every Saturday. Every time you attend, you could pay 10,000 for the session. So I attended for like 2 months, and I realized that my liquidity was going down because every time you have to attend, and the classes were big, and I could not comprehend what was being taught. Yes, however much I had a lot of interest, but I could not comprehend how the robots were doing, how they were taking their trades. So that's why I went on YouTube to learn about how these robots trade. And you know the YouTube algorithm, once you search for something, it starts now giving you more videos about the subject.
Okay.
So along that way, that's when I met one of good traders on YouTube of those days. It's called Naveen Prithian. I don't know, of Urban Forex. So now when I watched one of his videos, I was very, very excited to see that there are people who trade manually without robots. And he was mainly talking about Forex. That's when I diverted away from cryptos to Forex. Then that triggered the beginning of my journey of learning how to trade. And it took me some good years, by the way, close to 3 years. Because we are talking from 2007 up to 2020. That's when I started seeing some light. And along the way, I practiced so many strategies. I did smart money. I did market maker method by Steve Mullo and the ICT. Then, fortunately, when I started learning, I happened to share some of my content on my Facebook account. So I have a good friend of mine I went with to school at the university, then O-level, A-level. So he was in the US. Then when he saw this, he contacted me, and he was inquisitive to know whether I'm just sharing for somebody, whether I'm the one who's trading. I told him I'm the one who's trading. And by then I'd even organized an office in Bukodro, next to Kavila Country Club. So he was very excited to see that. So now when he flew back to Uganda, he joined me. So he came with some cash. Now the journey started to get easier.
Yeah.
Now when he came in with some good dollars, of course he paid for mentorship. You guys know there. You know, when the best way, by the way, the best way to learn how to trade is also by teaching. Some people fear to teach whatever they have learned, but it has helped me to learn these concepts very fast. When I learn about market structure, I teach it to more 10 people. That's how I was able to pick these concepts very fast. So now when this friend of mine came in, we are able now to pay for some courses. We paid for ICT, 12 months, $100 per month. But we are booted out around the 5th month. The email was that we are from Uganda, we are not allowed to. Yeah. And we wondered why, but we don't know. So we are booted and we could not proceed, but at least we got the first 6 months of ICT. Then we are able to get the other part of ICT courses from online, from other people. Then we also paid for Steve Mullo, that's the market make method, and it played a great role for us to understand how the market works, how the market is manipulated. And I urge people who are still struggling, you are new to this game, you still need a lot of knowledge, you have time to dive deep. You can check out Steve Mullo, that is Market Maker Method. He has 4 big videos on YouTube. Each video is for 4 hours plus. The guy will enlighten you more about this.
Okay, so now, talking about your introduction to the trading story and life, in fact, there are a lot of mythical stories that keep circulating on social media in the different communities that we live in. And people will tell you, learning trading is very hard, it's very complicated, it's a very long process. And now, what picture could you paint, or looking at the Martin of the 2017
And the Martin of now.
Yes. Looking at, no, you cannot, okay, like basically, let's try to
Martin
look
of
at,
2020.
no, the Martin of 2017, who knew nothing and were just getting introduced to the market, okay, for those 3 years. And then comparing it to the current situation. Do you think it is a little more easier now, or it is more harder? Because now people are looking at, youth have a tendency, mostly, have a tendency of looking at easy things. Forex, I want money, so my landlord is demanding, and then how do you tell me to first learn for 3 years?
For 3 years.
You get it? So try to paint a picture to someone who might be having that kind of thought or the way of thinking. Yes, and maybe try, if it is a way you can try to simplify it for them so that at least they can look at it in a very attainable picture.
Okay, honestly, Forex or financial markets, the skill is a little bit hard to learn, but you can learn it. If you are committed, you can easily learn how to trade. However, the mindset of our young people, I'm going to call them young because at least me, I'm on the third floor, so let me call them young people.
And I think it's very okay.
The one who are on the second floor. So the challenge we have, that people are excited about Forex. So now when people get introduced to Forex, the people at times who introduce them to Forex, they don't sit down and tell them the reality about the markets. So many people are being excited because they are looking at the end goals. Because now when you find me right now, many traders will ask me, what have you made? What are your achievements? What have you? So now when somebody finds out that you've made this, you've made this, so they are much focused on the end results. So they forget about the process. Now the challenge is somebody to accept the process, the learning process. Then after learning, they can easily
get to the fruits.
Yeah, get to the fruits.
Okay, so now, a good thing that you've openly explained that to them, and I'm pretty sure you who's there watching or who just got to learn on this video, you've learned or you're already learning or picking at something. And I'll still remind you that on a daily, for the episodes that we do here, we don't ask you to pick out almost everything that is said here. Out of 1,000 things, you can focus and then choose out 3 or 4, 5 that you feel like can work for you. And if you do follow them, they will basically work out for you, because this is not all content supposed to be taken in by you. And as well, now, when talking about the process, yes, now there's this guy who's going to accept and then follow that process. They will be looking out for that fast share of the efforts put in. So can you try to, because we've already been into that process of learning, then and then you have a friend, you even open up an office and all that. So when did you, or how long did it take you to have that first share of that efforts or that process?
Now fast forward, after jumping from strategy to strategy, I'll talk about that later when we are talking about the challenges. So we jumped from strategy to strategy, which is okay by the way. And for all traders out there who are jumping from one strategy to another, it is fine. It is completely okay. It is part of
try and error.
Yeah, it's part of the process. That's how our brain works. Now, don't beat yourself, because I see some traders who are trying to make these people who are joining to limit them, because we need talent. Also, trading needs some little of creativity and talent. So through that process of jumping from one to another, you can easily come up with your own trading strategy. Now, we realized some good progress in our trading career at the beginning of 2021.
That is from
2017 up to 2021. That's when things started to make sense. Now, how were we able to come up with this? Through those first 3 years, we are learning, consuming knowledge. Before you know it, one member brings the other concept. Before you know it, the other one brings. But it doesn't mean that we are not making money. We are making some few dollars. You know those beginners, there's what called beginner's luck. At times you make some dollars, the market takes it back, you make like that. But at least to be consistent, it took us those 3 years. So at the beginning of 2021, I think that's when we had the lockdown. We had enough time to sit, no distraction, no work, so we had enough time to sit and meal with my other team members, because by then I had so many team members, I had more than 4 team members. So we sat and asked ourselves, why are we not making money after all these years? Then we realized that we've consumed a lot of knowledge. So we made a decision that we are not taking on any new strategy. Then we decided to clear and format all our computers of all our previous courses, smart money, market maker, breakouts. We had indicators, everything. So then we sat like us and we asked ourselves, how can we trade and make money from this? So we sat as a team, looked at the charts for almost 3 months. Then we tried to compare time, then patterns. Then we realized that the market does something at different times.
Intervals, yeah.
So we realized that maybe, for example, I usually talk about this, that at around every 21st, from 19th to 21st, the market reverses. That's where the whole idea came from. That even if you check your laptops now, you guys who are out there, you check around 19th, the reversal structure starts.
Okay.
Yeah. Then around 21st, the market completely reverses. Then we realize that since that one can happen every 21st, does it happen every day? Can it happen weekly? So we looked into that. So we went into time. So as many of people look at market structures, look at so many other concepts, for us we first focused on time. That at the market open, London open, what happens? Does it repeat itself? If it is a market structure, do you have a market structure during London open? Do you have a market structure during Frankfurt open? So we looked at those simple. So we tried to make it simple. Then before we knew it, we realized that the market is doing so many things repetitively every day. So that's when we realized that we can make some good money from these markets. So that's when we even came back to the public and then started making noise. So for those of you that who've never met me, my name is Martin Volatas from FX Volatas. So many of you have seen our content on TikTok. So that's how we broke through into consistency.
It is my forex, my trading journey, and this is why we tend to talk about different ways of how you can really earn from the trading or from the trading financials. And we are still into the bits of my journey, and at least you've already had enough from different people. And yet today we have the one mentor with experience and a trader. So I've told you guys, if you get a chance to come across such videos and you're being shared to by someone you at least have seen on you know that within your country, because most of you have been having all this content being shared by different people from different countries that you even haven't dreamt of going to. So if you have a chance to be shared to by someone you already know is within the localities, then I think that is something very motivating and triggering. And I've told you can get to watch all these episodes onto, that is a TikTok, Tamam Brokerage Services. As well, you can go onto YouTube, you can go onto Instagram, and then as well Facebook. You can always follow much more of this. So now you have already you tried formatting the brain, the computers, and the life almost, basically, because you want to be better. Whether you guys, what I've really learned from what he has just said is you can try to explore as a learner or as a beginner. You can try to explore each and everything you feel like is in the market for a beginner. And not until you feel like nothing is working out for you, you can now get back onto the drawing board and look out for why you are not being, or you're not profitable. And after that, I think you're going to get to know more about, after you've formatted, then you've gone to the drawing board, it's where we're going, and he's going to share with you after doing that, what happened next.
Yes, after sitting with the team after reporting and wondering why we are not making money in this game. Yes, we are making some bit of few dollars. You make $200, then you lose it slowly. After 2 weeks, you are back.
It's all gone.
Yeah, it's like that. So we are not going forward, and this challenged us psychologically. We started doubting ourselves whether we made the wrong decision to join Forex. Yeah. Remember, there's something else I want to share. When you join Forex, so many people around you are going to discourage you.
True.
So many people are going to tell you these things don't work. And those people who will believe in you, they will believe in you for a while. Then after some time they'll say, man, you come back and we hustle, come back this side and we hustle. Because they don't see
you took a wrong step, by now you'll be far, you're wasting time.
Because they are not seeing any progress.
Not forgetting the parents and guardians.
So, under that pressure, you are psychologically broken down because everybody is against you. Then the market itself is also hitting you harder. But at that moment, just know you are on the right track. When you reach that moment, when nobody is believing in you, the market is hitting you, don't give up. In fact, it's the right moment for you to
keep going
harder. Because the only challenge we face during that moment is our psychology. One part of you is telling you, give up. Then another part is telling you, continue. Last time you made $200. Don't you remember?
Not forgetting the pressure of the bills, rent, and all those.
So, at that moment, that's when we are forced to reboot and sit down. But when I say reboot, it doesn't mean that whatever we had learned, we had to throw it out. No, we just wanted to remove the content we had on our laptop so that we don't go back to that. Then we sit and look at the market as a whole.
In your own way,
in our own approach.
Because you could have used what other people have told you and you feel like it's at an exhaustion point.
Yeah, because we had learned about everything, market structure, how the market reverses, everything. Now, what we wanted to do is to sit and share our knowledge. Because since we are 4 traders, everybody had some experience. So we wanted to see, how do you look at the market? How do you look at the market? So when we sat down, we realized that even if we are learning the same stuff, we realized that we are on different levels and everybody had understood the market different. So that's when we sat down and looked at the time element, because that is the most important concept in this game, the time element. Because many of us wake up, I'm sure you've seen people wake up at night and trade. I hear they trade Asian session. Then you see somebody waking up at 8, they trade, another one coming at. So the time element, you have to know when does volume come into the market. Which pair are you trading? If you are trading pound and the US dollar, when does London open and when does New York open? Now, if you are a London trader, you have to look at these pairs and try to understand which one is moving during London, which one is dormant, which market is dormant. Now, for that case, we looked at GBP JPY. We realized that during London, the yen market is people are sleeping. Then the pound is active. So here I have one pair to concentrate at.
And that is for
GBP JPY.
Session?
For London session.
Okay.
So there's that, okay, you can now start eliminating the pair. Even choosing the pair to trade is also very important. Then also we went further and realized that from 8 in the morning, that's now I'm talking about Ugandan time, East African Standard Time, we have the Frankfurt. So we have that first push in the market, which is good for gold, for people who trade gold. It's that first push in the market. So now we looked at that. Then later on, we looked at what we call fixed. Times we call them fixed points in the market or fixed rates. So I want to tell our viewers there and people who are trying to learn how to trade. You look at London fixed point, you look at New York fixed point, you look at Asian fixed point. Now, what are these fixed points? Now, when you want to buy gold, maybe the government of Uganda wants to buy gold or wants to invest or any other big corporation, there's a fixed price at which gold is sold. There's a fixed price at which pound is sold. So now, when pound is fixed at a given price, so the market will always come back at that.
Right.
Yeah. So let people just Google London fix and New York fix. That knowledge is not shared. It's not widely shared. It's not even in the mainstream YouTube content. But for the purpose of our viewers, I'll share that. Let them Google about London fix, New York fix, and they back test. They are going to realize that the market is always going to come back to those. Why? Because that's the price when the pound was fixed. That today you are going to sell pound
not beyond this or not above this.
So now we got to know those things slowly as we incorporate them into our trading strategy. But remember, we are not starting from zero.
Sure.
We have all the other knowledge from other mentors, from ICT, that's Michael, from so many other mentors. So from there, we try now to craft our own trading approach. So hence consistency. Then later on, we also realized that me trading pound, Euro USD, gold, GBP JPY, it was affecting us. Gold gives you money, GBP takes it back. The other pair gives you money. So we came with another rule. One pair, one session, one trade. Are done. So then if you lose that one trade, you are allowed to come back once. Then
if it fails, you wait for another session.
If it fails, you come back tomorrow. Because if you win, don't come back. Because if you come back, you can easily give back what you made.
I think that would be a very hard thing for people trading of late, of recent, to follow. One of the rules.
That's why I'm telling you that these are some things the market will train you. It's not very easy for me to tell you, take one trade, one session. It's very hard. But as you advance in this,
build the character,
then you learn to be disciplined.
Okay.
Then
now, and so this is all something that is really interesting to learn about. And you know, this whole thing of I'm liking the fact that you're going a little bit deep and then broad. You know, you're looking at something in its broader aspect, and I think people are benefiting a lot. These are things that people are paying much money out there to really get. And if you're really getting it here on just a free or silver platter, I'm pretty sure you are blessed. So now you are having all these characters being introduced into you as a family by then, trading together. So there are always, didn't you face things of pushback or pullback from any resistances amongst yourselves, and you're like, man, the guys, what you're taking is not what I feel like we should go to, and or you always, you know, you are always lucky and blessed that you always agreed on the same thing and move the same direction.
Now, fortunately,
because as you already said, that in the communities and the families that we live in, we always have people who always tell you, man, this thing cannot work, you know, you get it. But then now you people are really trading as a family, because as you mentioned, we're like four.
Yes.
And you know, how easy was it for you to always compound and move in the same direction with the same decision as when it came to trading?
Okay, the good thing is that many of these members were my students. So they came in for mentorship. Then I trained them what I knew. So now we had that mutual understanding and respect amongst ourselves. And we realized that we are not all good. We tried to understand our strength. So we had people like Bishop. Bishop is good at analyzing, technical analysis basically. So you bring an idea, we will go back, the guy will go back and back test it. Then we have another one who's a doctor, and still is practicing, is Dr. Mtoto. For him, just tell him this and this works. Then he goes back test, comes with data.
Brings you the data.
Data that I've back tested 5 years.
So you shared roles.
So we shared roles, and that's how we are able
so
to
there I
go
can
fast.
understand because you shared roles according to one's competence.
Yes.
You know, when you're good at this, go and look at this and then bring the other one as well. So I think that would be easy and a bit of fosters cooperative way of cooperating. Yeah. So now that is really something that is really nice. And I think myself, I'm already picking out something. So by the time I leave here, I leave this seat, I'll be having much fed into my brains. Okay, so I don't know why my minds are okay. I keep pushing me to that breaker. That breaker.
Okay, it's okay. We can go back there.
Yeah, but no, it's the break of like that first withdraw, that first money you get out of trading. Because as I told you, everyone will tell you, even if you went and told someone, man, there's money in forex. The question will be, when do I get that first payout? You get it? I don't know whether you as planned, you're already on to giving us how it came about, but you can reverse there.
Okay, if I take you back, when I left IML, when I stopped attending those seminars, remember I'd taken their people because it was about being some members. So when I left, I told them, me, I'm no longer going there. I'm trying to learn on my own. So I moved this side of Charwajara, so we had a place, a garden where we could sit, 10 of us. Then by then I was the big guy, but little did they know that I'm also trying to make ends meet.
Okay.
Because whatever I could watch at night on YouTube, I could come and teach them, free of charge. Watch at night, come and teach them. Watch at night, come and teach them. Then later I realized that I should charge these people. Then I started asking them $10, $30, that is around 100,000, 40. I kept on increasing. So I was able to raise around $300. Now when I raised $300, I funded my first live account, Forex account, not crypto account, but Forex account.
Okay.
So when you are starting out, you are fearless, by the way. You don't fear. Because there's that moment when you've learned a lot and fear develops. But when you are starting, you are fearless because you know little. So it was one day, it was a Friday. I never knew about news, NFP, I never knew about news. So I was buying my GBP USD, I'd put in 0.05 4 times.
Yeah, boss.
Scalping, because me I was scalping 3 pips, 2 pips, 5 pips, I get out. Then I was holding my phone, I saw a big candle.
Like the Ugandan economy.
By God's luck, it was in my favor.
Okay.
Then that's when I made my first $150 because I closed very fast. I didn't even wait. Then I withdrew. Then he bought a phone. It was a Tecno. I bought a Tecno Spark something. So that Tecno Spark phone is the reason why I'm even here right now. It was an olive branch. Every time I wanted to quit, I remembered, but this man, I made money here.
So many gifts.
Yeah. So I withdrew the $150. Then after that, of course, the market took back the rest. Then
You had to share.
Yeah, they had to share. The market took back the rest, but I bought a phone. Then that pushed me now to go back and read and study. And then I realized that working under a tree or under shades in a garden doesn't work. That's when I mobilized. Then we got an office in Bukoto. Now that market all sparked our journey because we built trust. People now could come in. Then I even started charging good money from mentorship, $500, $1,000. So because now we are organized, people could come in, give them manuals. So we are very organized. So now I made some money from mentorship. I won't lie to you. Because that money kept me going. Because the money I could collect from mentorship, I could use it to buy courses. I buy a course, I go through it, I teach like that. So it was get from here, invest here, pay office, buy internet, like that. But my first money was $150, and I bought a phone, which made me very happy.
So now, good thing you said by the time you joined, by then, during that time, 2016, 17, okay, 15, 16, 17.
I joined 17.
No, like, no, we are looking at even,
okay, before.
based on what I'm going to. People, there was a lot of, I hear, multi-level market companies surfacing all over. This at this tower, the other at the other tower, and then people, would always, get challenged, I think complicated. They'll find it complicating, to choose which one to follow, which one is right, which one is, and which one is here to stay and all that. So, and by the time you joined, it's very good that you took a step and you went in and opted for something that has really worked out for you up to date. And then now, looking at the current market or the current status of the financial trading, in fact, the financial industry, would you still say, because every time someone is stepping into something new, they will always look at the persistence or length, or is something that I'm joining here to stay and all that. Do you think Forex is still here to stay, or it is something that is already exhausted, and those that have already made money, well off, and those that are joining maybe might?
Okay. Unless maybe we have a nuclear war, the world comes to an end. But joking aside, what is Forex? Because some people might be wondering, what is Forex?
True.
What is Forex? Because we've been talking about Forex all along. This is exchanging foreign money. I'm going to try to use very simple.
Yeah, and that would be better.
Yeah. Then when people move, when you move across the border, you go to Rwanda. You change your money to Rwandan franc. Then you go to Kenya, you change to Kenyan shillings. For those of you who are able to go far, you change to Chinese RMB or yuan. So since people let me say, so long as people continue to import and export, so long as people continue to move from one country to another, people will keep on exchanging money, and the foreign exchange market will stay. So I'm pretty sure it is a skill you need to learn, because it's going nowhere. Because sometime back, people like us, people like me or you, we are not able to participate in this market. It was basically for big institutions. Now, brokers came in, like this one, Tamam Brokerage. Now, the purpose of a broker like this one is to give us access to the financial market. Because now, for you to get a contract, a smallest contract in Forex, it will cost you $1,000. That's the 0.01. Now, the next contract is $10,000. The other one is $100,000. Now, I want people out there to tell me, how many of you could afford that? None of us could afford, because we could not afford $1,000. That's 3.6 million UGX for a single contract. Now, when these brokers came in, their purpose was to leverage, to cover up for our small accounts. So right now, with my $100, I can participate in the market because the brokers can. So since we have brokers right now, and people are still moving from one country to another, people are buying goods, importing and exporting. So the Forex market is going nowhere. And look at, because right now I also add the Bank of Uganda is also consulting for us to go digital cash. So soon we are going to have a digital shilling. So which means it's high time people to learn.
Okay. So like any other career, I think, because while starting to trade, you start as a newbie, as someone who's just like in a joking way. But I've seen people saying or telling us how they turned Forex as to be their main career. And basically someone else does, and even maybe at a certain point you too count it as your other part-time career. So as we said, we always look out for opportunities. So what are the good things that have come or that are still to come? Based on your experience, based on your friend's experience, and a general perspective at large.
The opportunities around the financial markets,
Yes.
forex trading in particular. First of all, when you learn how to trade, the first skill, let me say, the first asset you have to sell is the mentorship. Because once you learn how to trade, everybody, even your neighbor, even your family members, want you to teach them. So, which means it is a teachable and skill, and you can monetize. It's a skill you can monetize. That's one. I've seen so many traders out there demonizing people who are trying to teach mentors, but without those people, all of us wouldn't be here. Just imagine the forex market without ICT. Even if many people don't trade like ICT, but it gave a foundation. So imagine the forex market without people who can mentor others. So it's okay for you to mentor, because I told you, if you want to learn very fast, you try to teach whatever you learn in this market, whether for free or charge, whatever. Then secondly, we have opportunities of starting brokerages, because even us at FX for Actors, we are looking into becoming a brokerage very soon, because there are so many avenues of recent. You can have a white label, because I won't lie to you that we have the ability to build a brokerage from scratch. But there's also another opportunity. There are people who are marketing these, the brokers. So it's very hard to market a brokerage when you don't know how to trade. How will you recruit people when you don't know also to trade? Because the people you recruit will want to learn how to trade. So that's also another opportunity of which people who are into marketing, because there are people there who are good into marketing. There are people who are good at networking. I also call upon people who are doing network marketing, that there is another good opportunity this side, where you can start your affiliate marketing business, or become an introducing broker. Even if you are not very good at trading, you can start an introducing brokerage business, then hire people who can teach your recruits how to trade. So that's also another powerful opportunity this side. Then the biggest opportunity is you making money, trading and make money. Because we can talk about all other opportunities, but the best one is you pressing a trigger, you buy and sell, then you withdraw. That's the biggest. Yeah.
So even in our general life, we study from different institutions, and as well we start from baby, the kindergarten whole thing, and then primary, and then high school, and then after other people choose to go into these, let's say, universities, and then some other institutions that teach different things. But then, and then you as well, there is a trader who's also trading, or who's also a beginner maybe, or he's an amateur trader. And they have been, as you said, they looked at all the other things, and then they've tried out each and every strategy. So now here, what I'm saying this is, I want you to shine a picture on that strategy that you finally came up with, and it's what you mostly focus on. And you know, every time I go about it, I always make money. However much, we're not guaranteed that.
Of course.
Because even every business, in each and every business, there's always profits and sometimes losses. So, like, what's that strategy that you trade as Martin?
Yeah, but before I want to chip in something
it is
small.
very okay.
Yeah. If you are struggling as a trader, I usually call them struggling traders because I was also a struggling trader for 3 years. I want you to first sit down and ask yourself, why are you not profitable? In most cases, the answers are within us. So what you have to do first, look at whatever strategy you are trading. Look at all the trades you are taking, the entries, the losses. Look at the entry, look at the winning trades, look at the losing trades. Then you are going to realize that you are losing more than you win. Then what's all about? What is in? Why is it
that you're losing?
That you're losing. Winning. So you look at those entries where you've lost, and I assume if I'd taken an opposite trade, it's like reverse psychology. I've lost 90%, I've won 10%. Now assume if I'd taken an opposite trade,
you have won 90% and lost 10.
Yeah. Then you look at those entries where you've lost.
Okay.
Why are you losing?
Okay.
In most cases, you are going to find an opposite entry. So as I was saying, you are going to realize that you've lost 90% and you've won 10%. Now what you have to do, I want you as a trader to think outside the box. Because whatever is being taught has failed to work. If you realize that whatever you've learned is not working, then you go back on this very strategy, before even you shift to another strategy. And you look at those losses and imagine that if I'd taken opposite trades, is there any criteria I could take an opposite trade? If I've been buying and been losing, is there any setup? Is there any entry for me to take a sell? And in most cases, you are going to find that there is a structure, there is a break and a retest on all those losing trades. So I implore any trader out there to go back. You check your last 10 losses. You're going to realize that there is an entry for an opposite. So that can mark the beginning of you discovering your own approach to the game. Then secondly, we have indicators. Now this goes to the people who are new to the game. Now it is challenging. Some people say indicators don't work. Others say indicators work. Now, if you are learning how to trade, your indicator should be price action. The candlesticks should be your only indicator. Because if you put a trend line, if you put a moving average, it's also an indicator on top of an indicator. Because candlesticks are also indicators.
True.
So first learn how the market moves, what we call price action. Now when you learn how price moves, then you can talk with an indicator to guide you if you want. But in most cases, if you learn how the market works on a naked chart, you don't need to put an indicator. Then, another very crucial thing is, do you understand how the market moves and how it is manipulated? So, because we've seen so many people teaching about manipulation, distribution, I'm not going to use those strong terms because in most cases they mean nothing. But what you have to do as a trader, can you identify when the market is manipulating? How do you know that the market is manipulating? Can you identify where people put their stop losses? That begins from you identifying that if I buy a trade here, where am I most likely to put a stop loss? Because since many of us, we are wired almost the same way. So the chances are high that many of us in this room, if we buy pound right now, chances are high we are going to put the stop loss around the same area. If we pick our phones right now and we buy pound separately, individually, chances are high many of us are going to put our stop losses around 25 pips, 10 pips. Very few of us here will put a stop loss at 50 or 800 pips away. What does that mean? That now since we are million traders out there, chances are we are going to place our stop loss in the same area. Now that's when the market maker will reverse
and pick us out,
then
go
back where you were supposed to go. So now, are you able to identify what we call liquidity in the market? Liquidity, I mean the possible areas where people could put their stop losses, people where people could put their breakout entries like buy stops, sell stops, areas where people could put their sell limits and buy limits. So now, those are the areas the broker, not the broker, or the market loves most, because we are fighting against the market maker. He's coming for our money, also coming for his money. So now, once you identify where liquidity is, there are so many versions of liquidity and people teach liquidity differently. But for me, the way I look at liquidity, this is the way I see liquidity. I want to know where you put your stop loss. Of course, I don't know. But I can guess that if Martin or Moses or buys, they are most likely to put their stop loss below the recent swing low or swing high. If they are buying, swing low. If they are selling, swing high. So now, we have two chances. When the market reaches there, the market will grab and come back, or the market will break and be tested and continue. So which means I have two chances, either win or loss. So after identifying those liquidity zones, now can you identify how the market sets that move? Because the market will always show you an indicator that it is going to grab that area. So if you identify that, the chances are high for you to sit comfortably and wait for the market to manipulate, then reverse, then you take a trade. That's one. Then two, many of us know that for the market to move, the market maker has to invest in money. And I learned this from Steve Muller. He told us that for the market to move a single pip on maybe a major currency pair, GBP USD, they need to invest $10 billion. I don't know how true it is, but we are in the information era. You can Google it. But whatever the case may be, it is expensive to move the market. Now, because I don't know how big is the US economy, but it might be around maybe $200 trillion. I don't know. So, but just imagine now if you want to move the dollar, how much money you need to move the dollar. So now, since the broker or the market maker needs money to move the market, we can try to identify the pockets where this money is injected before the sweeps. So your job as a trader is to understand that now he's going to manipulate. Now, if he grabs liquidity maybe from up, he runs up and sweeps up, then he runs back down. The market maker is forced to come back into that area. So that's what we call market cycles. That brings me to something very important we discovered. And we call them market cycles. And many of you, I'm sure you've realized that you take a buy, the market kicks you out. Later in the evening, it comes back to the same spot. And it is very common. And you start wondering, I should have used a big stop loss. I should have done this. But the market is always coming back.
Let me cut you short, because we're already coming. We are now at the point that maybe this gentleman or lady is really interested in. Yes, I've told you can always get to enjoy, or you can always get to learn from such people and these videos. If you get to subscribe to this YouTube channel, you can even put a notification, you can even like the notification bell, that every time a video is posted, you are notified. And then you can always get back to learn more, because you might have come across this, but then there are more that were dropped before, there are more that are coming on different topics, and you are really going to like it. So you can just go onto different social media handles. That is YouTube, Tamam Brokerage Services, TikTok, Tamam Brokerage Services, and as well you can access their services for you who is looking out for some broker with almost zero spreads, and then the leverage to your comfort and everything, so that you can have a better trading experience. You can go to their website, that is Tamam Brokerage Services, at www.tamambrokerage-services.com, so that everything and can be made more a little bit easier, and you have that better and enjoying forex journey. So I've told you today the gentleman who's sharing with us is Martin. For you who's dropped in a little bit late, or maybe who still wants to know more, and he has already shared much more for those that have just come across the bit of this. But then if you've just come across a bit of this and you're interested to want to listen or learn more, I've told you what the video is. So now this is where we are. You've studied the market for a good time, you've made some money, sometimes things fail out, and then you come out with something or a strategy that you people were like, man, I think if we go and use this consistently, we are to shine.
Yes. Now, to make it simple for our viewers, you have to understand where liquidity is. Then when liquidity is being grabbed or kicked out, whatever, because when liquidity is grabbed or swept, the market will always, in most cases, run in an opposite direction. When the market does not move in an opposite direction, that's not a liquidity grab. Now, the market will always come back to that area where it grabbed liquidity. That will give us what we call a market cycle. So I encourage or I implore our viewers to go on their charts right now. Open any currency pair. You look for a liquidity grab. What you are going to see happening consistently, that every time the market grabs, it runs in an opposite direction and it will come back at the exact spot. So now once you can visualize that, then the light bulb is off. Then you've understood how the market is being manipulated. Now the question is, why does the market come back at the exact spot? It is very simple. When the market pushes up, they need to invest in money for the market to run up, assuming it is grabbing up. So now, when the market maker buys, then he has to reverse very fast in an opposite direction. Because when he buys and runs up, so many people will jump in. Those people who fear to miss out, they will think the market is going up. Then the breakout traders will be also triggered. Then he runs in an opposite direction. Now, he has invested buys, he also invested sells. So he has to come back in that area, basically in simple terms, to balance his books. That's why if you go to a daily time frame, after grabbing, the market will run maybe for 6 months, then it will come back. When you go to 5 minutes, it's the same thing. Every time the market grabs liquidity, it runs in an opposite direction, then comes back. Then another, I can call it a filter, another filter to that every time he grabs the liquidity, he has to break structure in an opposite direction. Then he has to come back in that area. Now when he comes back to that area, that's when we take our sell. So we are supposed to be patient, let him manipulate, grab people, run in opposite direction, but when he comes back, he has exhausted all options, then that's when we jump in. Then another one, this goes to all people who are trading support and resistance, because I know that's the foundation of this game. Support, resistance, supply and demand. Now, every time you go on a demand zone or a resistance, some people call it resistance or support, me I can use supply and demand. If you go deep, you understand these almost mean the same thing. So if you come on a supply, on a demand zone or support zone, the market will test a given area, maybe 1, 2, and they tell us that when a zone is tested 1 or 2 times, it becomes strong, and many people will try to sell that resistance. Assuming the market is hitting that roof, come back, comes down, it goes back. So some people think that the more the area is tested, the stronger that zone, support or resistance zone becomes. But I want to tell you, it becomes more weak. Why? That if the market moves maybe to 2,000, it comes back. Coming back, which means people have sold at 2,000. When it goes back at that very price level, people will sell again at 2,000. Now, due to the forces or factors of demand and supply, when it goes back, chances are high that people are not willing to sell it to you again at 2,000. That's why, in most cases, support and resistance areas, they are first manipulated. The market maker has to offer a higher price for people to sell to him, then it drops. That's what we call manipulation. That's why I have equal levels, and then manipulated and comes down. That's why I always tell people, do not take a trade when you see equal levels, because chances are high the market maker is going to manipulate that level. But what we call manipulation, it's not manipulation. These are factors of supply and demand, that people are not willing to sell to him at that price level. So he has to increase, and people sell to him, then it drops. However, for us as traders, we term it as manipulation, but the man is obeying to the market forces of supply and demand. So around those areas of supply and demand, in most cases, this manipulation happens. So if you are a supply and demand trader, always wait for those manipulations and take a trade.
Okay, so that is basically why you always sit at when it comes to trading, or the things that you really focus on.
Yes.
When it comes to trading. Yeah, so we've really taken a step, and we've been through the introductory part and all that. So for you who has just maybe got into this bit or somewhere on TikTok, because sometimes on TikTok we only drop the beats and then you get to follow and enjoy more on our YouTube channel for the full episodes. So now this is the strategy.
Yep.
And then you are either making money or making money, because on a daily there is no one who wakes up and they're like, today I'm going to trade and make losses. No, it's always the intentions of making profits, and then losses just come in coincidentally. So now we are already into the market. Do you have any moments whereby you look at and you're like, man, this day nearly killed me, or this period, or this day I woke up and then I regretted, I was like, maybe I wish I shouldn't, or I wish I didn't know about Forex, and maybe I never joined Forex? Because people will tell you, people have different stories. Someone will tell you, man, one time the market hit me, I used rent, or maybe I used my parents' money, and man, I poisoned. People have stories behind the scenes. And so is there any moment, a moment of test, that every time you reap, or every time you're making a withdrawal, you remember that moment, you're like, this day or this period or this week, it nearly claimed me?
Honestly, that moment came before this.
Okay.
You remember I told you about my first withdrawal. So I got excited. I lost the account. Then I got another account. I deposited. Then, as I was scrolling on Facebook, I saw what we call expert advisor, trading robot. Now this time for Forex. Remember, I was coming back from
that's the
other, yeah. So it triggered my mind. We have Forex robots also. So I bought a robot at $14. It was cheap. It was a Martingale robot. I bought a robot. I bought a VPS, deployed that robot, put my $50, I remember. Then started making some small money. Now this robot used to give me $10 every day. Now in my mind, I was like, if I can make $10 here, if I increase the deposit, I can be making $1,000. So what did I do? I had a small piece of land. And plus somebody had a loan in the bank somewhere of around 5 million. So I was like, let me sell this land, clear the loan,
and then use the balance to...
I did exactly that. So the land, 19 million, cleared the loan, I got the whole sum of it, put it into the robot. Then I remember that call it a fateful day. It was USDJPY. Up now I don't trade USDJPY because of that reason. I put in the money I deposited around $3,000 because I had to keep some aside. I put around $3,000, deployed the robot, used the standard load, the robot started moving. Loss 100, loss 200, profit 200. I was like, okay, loss 100, loss 50, like that. Within the next 4 days, the whole money was gone. Now what I did was to get the balance, deposit it manually. Now this time the robot, I ditched the robot on Friday. So I deposited the little balance. I think I put like $200. So I deposited the $200. I traded the 0.5, converted $200 to $600. Then it was around 5 Friday in the evening. I took another trade. So that trade
went the opposite.
Cleared me completely. So that's how I lost the money, everything. So that is my biggest loss in this market. And
then maybe as well you can just directly drive us to the challenges generally.
Yeah. So that was my biggest loss, and I learned a lot from that loss because I spent like 2 months without opening my computer. Even my partner at home used to ask me what happened, why, and she was wondering what was happening to the man.
She know you are going through trauma.
Because I didn't tell her because if you're a man, you know out there, you know some things you are better kept to yourself.
How do you tell someone you sold land and then
yeah. So after that, so I kept that experience with me. So what I crafted, and I always teach this to my students, I learned that I have to scalp. Me, I'm a scalper. Me, I'm not excited even if you hold a trade for 20 days and make 2,000 pips. For me, I don't care. Me, what I want, my 10, 20
consistent
pips. 20 pips out. So I learned that I have to get money every day. I had to get $10 every day. So I struggled hard and funded my account again. And I learned that trading a 0.01 is powerful. Because many traders out there don't want to even trade a 0.01. But for me, I learned that if I trade 0.01, then I add another 0.01 which is in profit. I can keep scaling in 0.01, add another 0.01, another 0.01. At the end of that day, I have my $5, $6, $10. And $10 is 36,000. For me, it was enough for me to live at home and to survive. And the partner at home was okay because I could live 20,000, 25, 30. And sometimes if I scalp very well, I live 50,000. So the wife of a trader could what? Enjoy. But what I realized is this. If you are learning how to trade, first learn how to survive. Because people want to make money, but they are afraid to survive. First learn how to survive in the market. You see, those people who are in Chikubo, who are in arcades, they learned how to survive before they even open those big shops. So you have to first learn how to survive in the forex market. And how do you survive is learning how to scoop something every day from the market. And how are we able to scoop? By taking those small lot sizes. Because you can never go wrong. Because now if I have $200 account and I'm looking for $10, now if I put in a buy of 0.02, it will need almost 2,000 pips to grow the account. Is it possible? No. Because 100 pips on 0.02, that is $20. So it will need to take me a lot of pips per se for me to blow my account. So, but chances are high for that trade to swing back. Now, since I know that the market moves in cycles, I make a wrong decision, I enter, I realize later that it's a wrong entry. I can easily sit back and wait for him to come, for the market to come back, and then get out. Or move even in my. So I employ traders who are learning how to trade. First learn how to survive. Because that survival mode will make you consistent. So before I knew it, I was consistent in scalping the market. So from $10 a day to 20 to 30 to 100 to $200, because now it became easy for me to scalp. Then it also makes you trigger happy. Some people are against being trigger happy, but do you know that there are people who fear to pull the trigger? I've met so many people. You tell them fund your account. Have you seen the trade? Tell them now buy. Then they start panicking to pull the trigger. Now when the trader has already moved 10 pips, they gain the courage and enter. And that one that happens to so many of us when we are starting. So now for me, from scalping, I became trigger happy. Enter, you are kicked out. Enter, like that. But at the end of that day, the PNL, is it positive 10? Because my target was positive 10. Until the target became positive 100, like that. However, there are some losing days, there are some bad days. When you come and the PNL goes negative, the other side. So, but that one is part of this one. Then, the challenges beginners face. Now, I'm going to talk as a mentor now, not as a trader, because I've encountered so many people in this journey. And I've at least taught one-on-one so many people from here in Uganda, from Kenya.
Okay, so it is My Trading Journey, and the host is always me, the African, and today I have your favorite or one of your experienced mentors and trader around town. One why you might be already familiar with him and some of you might not, but then I'm pretty sure by the time this episode ends or comes to closure, you'll have already known much more than what you even just imagined or even thought of him. And we're still having a great journey. We are learning, we are experiencing, and I'm pretty sure after all this, some will be implemented, some will be left out, and those that implement what he has said right, then you will have the fruits. And those that really want to keep on being stubborn, you'll keep blowing and blowing and blowing. So you better move in the right direction and be positive towards what he has just said. Yeah, you're still taking us through the...
So I would like to talk about the challenges. Maybe let me start with the best approach, how somebody would start this journey. Because I don't want people to make the same mistakes we made. First of all, if you are trying to join this, desist from investing. Desist from investing to investing in us traders, because many of you have your money, you want someone to trade for you.
Yes.
That you make small money on the side while you are learning. First of all, desist from that. Keep your money. If you've been trading, if you've been selling bananas, if you've been
but then a certain person out there will argue that for me, deep down or deep inside myself, I feel it, I may never get the knowledge to trade, but I have my money, I want to get someone to trade for me. I don't want to. If you are listening to your story, it already looks like it is a very long process, but I have my money, and if you're very well a good trader, why shouldn't I trust you?
Now I'm talking to somebody now who wants to learn. Then I'll talk about the investment part of this. So I'm talking to somebody who wants to learn how to trade. Keep away from investing in traders. Keep your money, learn how to trade. Me, I will advise you to invest in your knowledge. Invest in any mentor you think is doing what you want. And after investing, you have to dedicate some time, because some people want to learn this in 3 months. I swear to you, you will never learn how to trade in 1 month or 2 months. It's going to be a process. It can take you 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. But if you get a one-on-one with a good mentor to guide you, you can easily cut your learning phase short, maybe to 1 year, if you are somebody who's aggressive. Then, after getting somebody to mentor you, or if you are mentoring yourself on YouTube, you stick to one mentor, stick to one strategy for at least some good time until you are able to understand what the market is communicating to you. Then from that stage, you can easily add on or adopt so many other strategies, but you start from settling with one person or one mentor or one trading community. That's one. Then 2, I encourage somebody who's learning how to trade to exit so many trading communities. I even tell my students to even exit mine if they wish so. They wish. So I tell them exit all trading communities, platforms. You can save them and come back. Why? You are going to realize that you are now trading GBP USD. Then Moses posts gold. Then the other one posts BTC USD. So you keep on hoping from here. Then the other one is trading, the other community is trading support resistance, the other one is trading trend line. So that one will keep you moving around in a cycle. So exit other trading communities, stick to the trading community you are in, where you are learning from, or you can exit everything and focus on yourself. Then thirdly, always prepare some money for you to trade live. Me, I don't believe in demo trading, and yes, we use demo trading to show you how to place a sell limit, buy limit, but after that, you deposit $10, $20, and take a trade. And do not fear to share your trades. That's another powerful approach. Yeah. If you are learning, you make analysis, share your trades, maybe with your mentor or whatever small trading community you are in. Keep sharing. Share those losses. Share those setups. Don't share screenshots of money. Share your setups like that. Then secondly, not second, I think 4th or 5th. The next thing you have to do as somebody who's joining this is to create time as a learner. If you are employed, because many people are employed, create the morning time, create a routine. It should be a routine, whether 2 hours every day. Look at the charts, back test. Look at the charts, back test. Like that. However, later I will tell you that if you've mastered your trading, do not back test anymore. Yeah. Because once you learn that this is my strategy, you prove it and it is consistent, do not back test. That's why we don't back test now. Because many of you are senior traders, you tell me, every time you back test for 2 hours, you come up with new concepts.
Yes,
yeah. Every time you back test your strategy, you come back with new concepts. You look at how you can.
At the end of it all, we just keep in the process of learning.
So how do we cut that process of learning? Once you realize that break and test works, you put in a trade, you make money, pause. Until that break and test stops working, then you go back and back test.
Okay.
So that's the approach I would advise the new people to take, for them to cut their learning curve short.
Okay, so as we look out to a conclusion, and I've told you, for me who's sat here with this gentleman, I've already learned, I've picked out a few things, and I think it should be the same thing with you. Because I've told you whatever thing these gentlemen and ladies we do host here come and share with you, they are paid for hugely. And then there is you who's getting an opportunity to be or to receive this information being shared, because the man himself really tells you that he went through some hardships. At a certain point he used to pay, and then he's sharing what he paid for to you for free, from moreover at your comfort. You're not even moving to any room or showroom and all that to learn. You just sat somewhere and then you're learning all this from the gentleman. So you better really apply it, and it really helps you. So what could be that last bit of advice you'd give to a beginner, mostly? Because we tend to mostly look at the beginners, and those ones who already experienced. Of course, I know you always have circles you mainly meet and talk in your different areas and perspectives. But here, mostly we try to look at the beginner and then an amateur. So what would be that last bit you'd want to leave with that beginner for today?
I would advise the beginner to, first of all, to keep pushing. Don't give up. Do not give up. I usually say these things work. Forex pays. Forex pays very, very, very well. Very, very well.
Yeah, by the way, so before you go to that, I'm sorry to cut you short. You'll bring that a little bit later. Just remember, it's something that I really want to leave out for the experience that you have. What is your take on signals and people who trade signals?
Signals, okay. What is a signal? Signal is like you taking my mind. You are trading what I trade. Now, if I'm a signal provider, I'm analyzing gold, and I take maybe a break and retest trade. Now, just imagine, by the time I screenshot or I type buy here, then send to you, and then you open your MT4. By the time you do that, the market has already moved. Okay. So signals are good for people who are trying to prove to themselves whether the forex market works or not. So you can get signals from experienced traders, but they have their disadvantages, because by the time this signal reaches to you, it's already ready. Maybe assuming you've taken this signal at the right time, do you know how to manage? Because there's a topic which is very also diverse about trade management.
I think maybe next time we'll have to as well go to just look at that, and then you dig deep into that whole thing.
Because trade management is the biggest challenge we traders face. It's very easy to get an entry, but psychology is going to play us against our trades. You enter trade, it gives you 20 pips, pulls back, then you get out, then it moves. So how do you manage your trades? Now, somebody who's saying yes signal is an experienced trader, and he knows how to manage his trades, and he knows how to manage his portfolio. I too tried to sell signals some time back, but I gave up because people don't know about portfolio management. Somebody has $200, then they put a standard lot. Because they got a signal from you, they think for you are God. So they just pump in. They go in. So you have to, somebody who's buying signal, they must be good at trade management. They know how to manage their portfolio, risk management. So if somebody is good with that, and it is very important for you to get a signal from somebody, you know that you are trading the same strategy. So if I'm the one who taught you, and for us we share our signals for free in our Telegram channel, you are free to take our trades, because you can read our minds. You can understand what is Martin trying to do.
Because the strategy is
you know the strategy. But I cannot get a signal from somebody who's trading maybe a trend line, and I don't know what is
you don't know the origin, you know how, why, and
yes. But once you know that the strategy somebody is trading, maybe you are their student, maybe you can try to buy their signals and test them. You also learn how to manage like that. But in a nutshell, signals are not sustainable, and they are not good for somebody who's aspiring to become a trader. Okay. It's better you go bare knuckles and learn how to trade on your own.
Okay. All right, so you've really had for yourself. I think the whole thing of the signals can go in line with the get rich quick it's better you dive, because I think before you take the signals, maybe you should ask yourself a question of till when shall I or will I keep taking these signals? That is one. Then two, if you take the signal from a certain trader or mentor, why don't you ask yourself, when am I going to give out, or when am I going to be able to provide the signals? Why can't I look into the market, dive, and then research so that I can become that next person to give out the signals?
Maybe something small that to all of people out there who want to buy signals, I think you should look into people who have trade copiers. Because if somebody has a trade copier, whatever they place, the same entry. When they move their stop loss,
the other side too.
So
okay.
If you can get somebody with a profitable copier service, that would be the best approach than the signal. So you can look for people who have trade copiers, but they are very few, because also a copier has its challenges, so they are very few. But if you can get somebody who is with a good trade copier, you go for that than for signals.
Okay. Yes, as I told you, the main sponsors to the show is Tamam Brokerage Services, a forex broker that really brings you the opportunity to trade at your comfort, to have a better trading experience with almost zero spreads, leverage to your comfort. The customer care is always just a call, text, or email away. So you can just get to check out onto them, that is onto their websites, that is www.tamambrokerageservices.com, and then you can get to ask more about what you want to know. About whatever you've had, you can always get to follow us and even listen in more, because as you've heard, next he will come in and teach you more about how you can manage your trades. And then you can as well wait for that episode if you only subscribe to this YouTube channel, and then as well tap onto that notification button or bell, that anytime a video drops, you are notified to be the number one or to be the first to really view that. And out of all he has said, I will remind you that I keep telling you, you listen, learn, apply, then earn. So from us to you, it's been a great pleasure to share with you, and it's been a great pleasure to have you, Mr. Martin. And I can really assure you, these people might have already been impacted in one way or the other. So I'm pretty sure, as we said, we don't take it all, but you pick out what is really helpful. The same way you did, I'm pretty sure even throughout your journey, you didn't have it all, put in your mind, but you picked out a few that have pushed you up to where you are today. That's why you can be able to share with these people. I can just say, let's say we look up to having you to share more of the knowledge and the experience. Thank you for coming through. It's my Forex journey or my trading journey.